We're bullied by people no matter what we think on a day-to-day basis, whether you're in a car and someone's honking their horn, whether you go in the grocery store and someone's mad because you've got 20 items and they got one, and they ask if they go ahead of you. No, you're behind me. The reality is we don't really look at that, and sometimes we just let things go. Well, what happens when we're bullied, especially someone like myself, it manifests into anger, depression, because then I say, well, why in the hell didn't I stand up for myself? Why did I let that person? Then when I slow down, I realize it's on me. And being bullied is not comfortable, because what happens if we don't take care of the situation or the circumstance or the people, then we become bullies. That's the honest way. That if you can't do what you need to do for yourself, then you're obviously going to go do what someone's done for you, or done to you, pardon me. And I became a bully in my life towards people because it happened to me, and I thought, well, shit, if I can't get what I want, I can overcome them. I can verbally overcome them. I can emotionally overcome them. I can mentally, and et cetera, et cetera. I made every excuse in the world for being a bully. And bullies exist. Then you become what you hate. And that's what happened to me. I became what I hated. What I hated in other people doing to me, I realized I did it to people. I did it to family members. I did it to my mother and my grandmother. And later on in life, it was just traumatic to realize, oh my God, I did that to them. I own up to it because it's the truth and it's the reality, and it's helped me become the person I am today. Doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody. Doesn't mean I'm any worse off than anybody as well. But as long as I'm honest with myself, I'm able to work through this. One of the big forms of bullying is in relationships. Doesn't matter if you're in a relationship with a man, a woman, or someone who identifies in another way. That's not the point. But when someone is bullying you to be in the relationship and manipulating at the same time, there's depression, there's anxiety, there's confusion. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. Many of us don't want to be alone. Loneliness really fucking sucks. And the reality is, when we're lonely, what do? We do things that allow us to feel better momentarily. Whether it's food, whether it's drugs, whether it's sex, whether it's shopping, whether it's something that gives us a momentary, at that moment it makes us feel good. Then when it's over, it's gone. Mine, as I mentioned before, is food, sex, and gambling. Trifecta in the world. And then when I get done with soothing myself or feeding my depression or anxiety or psychosis, I'd start all over again. So it was a cycle that went on for years and years and years. And to this day, I still deal with it. I have better tools that I've gotten by working with people and understanding. I have a better understanding that I'm not going to let somebody bully me anymore. Doesn't work that way. You also can do that. It takes work. It takes time. There are people that can help you. There's organizations that can help you. One of the big things about being bullied, and a lot of kids have experienced this, and you read and you see where a young man or a young woman has killed themselves because someone's bullying them over their family, maybe because they're poor, or the person might have transgender issues. They might identify as this, that. Someone might say something. And you actually have people out there who are not worried if something's going to happen. You have kids that have killed themselves because they're worried about what's going to happen to their adult parents. When they're 12, 13, they've had to take care of the family. They've become the adult in the family because either mom or dad's not there or something's going on. But we live in a society, what do? We talk about it. What do we do? Prevention. We have 1 month out of the year, suicide prevention. As I said before, we got 1 month for everything, but we got 12 months out of the year for everybody to still be an asshole. Kind of interesting to me. There should be 1 month of assholes and 11 months of good people. The reality is, if we don't do something about it, then it's never going to change. So we need to set boundaries, and setting boundaries is not easy because you lose people. And many times I have thought, well, if I set a boundary, that person's not going to be in my life. So if I need to do something or I want something, that person can help me. But then I realized the person was in my life only because it was circumstantial, because of what I could provide them, not what they could provide me. And then I've stuck around people in work and privately because I didn't want to be alone. Even though I was alone with them. How many of you have ever been with someone? You're out to dinner, you go to a movie, you go to a play, you go to a ball game, you go to some, but you're alone, even though you're with somebody else. I think many of us have experienced that. And the reality is the only person who can take care of that is us. There's a lot of different ways we can look at this. You know, a lot of people go to therapy. A lot of people like therapy. A lot of people don't believe in it. I work with therapists, and I can understand when people say they have a hard time with the therapist. But if it's not a therapist, it's someone who understands you. It's a friend. It's someone who could be a complete stranger. One of the things I've gotten to realize is a lot of people love going to a therapist because it is a stranger. You're paying someone to talk to. Because think about it. If you talk to your family member, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your daughter, your son, your aunt, your uncle, somebody else, the way that you can talk to a therapist, you have a lot of doubt that that person is going to accept what you have to offer, that they're going to listen to what you have to say. So therefore, we rely on other people. A great therapist is just going to guide you and listen to you and help you find the answers, not tell you what you have to do. I've said that many times, and I'll always say that. Once someone starts telling you how you need to live your life, then again, unless you're a criminal, they want to probably give you good advice not to be a criminal. And I know that from personal experience. But the reality is, being bullied is traumatic on us emotionally. It makes us feel less than. Our self-worth is down the hill. We don't know what to do. We start doubting ourselves. We feel like, oh my God, if I don't do what that person wants, I'm not going to have a friend. I'm not going to be in a relationship. I don't have a job. How am I going to pay my bills? So therefore we do things. And then who's going to help us? No one. Do you think the bully is someone who's going to look out for you? Remember this, many people who are bullies have been bullied in some way or another.